They buried it where no one would ever look. Not in a gilded reliquary or beneath a cathedral floor, but behind a crumbling altar wall sealed in lead and lime, hidden for 7 centuries. And when that wall was broken open in 2001, the box inside didn't just unsettle the restoration team, it terrified them. Inside lay a single object, a disc, metallic and cold, engraved with symbols no Templar artifact should ever bear. At its center, a twisted 6-armed cross. Around it, a halo of astronomical markings. And within its cipher, a date, not from the past, but from our near future. They called it the Last Sigil. Tonight, we journey not into legend but into a silence carved from stone and centuries. Imagine it, a forgotten chapel in the French countryside, its roof sagging, ivy crawling up its walls. Behind its altar, masons once sealed away a relic so dangerous the church denied it ever existed. And when it emerged, its whispers spread through hidden archives, forbidden research circles, and finally the Vatican itself. The discovery began with a suspicion. The altar wall looked wrong, too clean, too new. By the 3rd day of work, a medieval symbologist named Doctor of Langla halted the restoration. The stones sounded hollow. Behind them lay a cavity carved into bedrock. At its center, a small leaden box wrapped in fragments of silk and bound with copper brackets. When it was opened, silence fell. The disc was heavy, unnaturally warm to the touch. Its alloy defied classification, some claimed tin, others lead mixed with antimony, even meteorite. But its engravings mattered more. They were not Latin words or holy inscriptions, but a language of geometry and stars. At the heart was the 6-armed Templar cross, one arm broken, radiating outward to planetary glyphs subtly altered, as though mapping a sky not yet seen. Langla photographed everything, but the images never appeared in official reports. Weeks later, he resigned and disappeared into monastic seclusion. The disc itself soon vanished from public record, spirited away under Vatican authority. What little remains comes from scans leaked online in 2002, dismissed as hoaxes, erased from archives, but preserved by a handful of researchers who insist the artifact was real. One of them, Klaus Ehrenfeld, a retired German astrophysicist, spent 2 years studying the notches around the disk's edge. They weren't decoration. They were intervals. When compared to planetary cycles, the sequence pointed not to history, but to the future, a rare celestial alignment in August 2039, when Mercury, Mars, and Saturn form a near-perfect triad near Virgo. Even more chilling, the disk's fractured cross aligned exactly with the moment of maximum convergence, as if the object had been crafted to mark a date centuries in advance. How could 14th-century warrior monks calculate such precision without telescopes or ephemeris tables? Some argue they inherited lost Islamic or Byzantine astronomical knowledge. Others suggest something darker, that the Templars guarded a system of hidden geometry, a cipher of time itself. Langla hinted at such a code in his private notes, what he called the initiate syntax, a language not of words, but of ratios and harmonics. The disk may even have been designed to move. A faint indentation at its center suggests it was meant to spin, like a dial aligning with the heavens. Was it part of a larger device, a ritual machine? If so, what was it counting toward? The most disturbing clue lies in the cross itself. Unlike the familiar 4-armed emblem of the Templars, this one bears 6 arms, crooked, uneven, one deliberately broken. In Templar symbolism, the cross was more than a badge. It represented the 4 cardinal directions, the elements, the evangelists. A 6-armed distortion breaks that balance. Some scholars interpret it as an axis mundi, a fracture in the cosmic order. Others trace its shadow through obscure records, like a 14th-century parchment from Avignon describing a splinter sect, the vigilance of the broken arm, who guarded a sigil of metal with 6 points, one shattered, as a reminder of the breach to come. A breach to come. Was this prophecy metaphorical, or a countdown? The Church's silence is telling. No museum catalogues the sigil. No official record admits its existence. And yet within weeks of its discovery, a Vatican envoy closed the site and removed the artifact. What could be so dangerous about a disc of engraved metal, unless its message pointed not to treasure or bloodlines, but to time itself? If authentic, the Last Sigil is not a relic of the past but a warning from it. A clock buried in stone, sealed away until the world drew close to its appointed hour. And that hour, encoded in a cipher lost for 6 centuries, is 2039. The question that remains is simple, and terrifying. When the countdown reaches 0, what happens? No one knows for certain. Some believe it marks a celestial event, others a man-made upheaval. But the most unsettling possibility is that the Templars buried the sigil not to preserve it, but to keep us from ever reaching the moment it was meant to unleash.